In 2025, a crazy tariff war shook the world, and in recent years, nearly every importer that we talk to has tried to build a more resilient supply chain by adding new suppliers in different countries. And now, not all of them have necessarily found the right sourcing opportunities, but if you do find the right opportunity, you need to be sure that you start off with the relationship on the right foot by onboarding your suppliers in a way that helps you to avoid disastrous quality issues 3 to 6 months in, or even 3 years down the line. And so today we're going to talk about how the sharpest importers do just that. So let's get into it. So let's say that you found a promising new supplier for your product. Maybe they're in Vietnam or India or maybe Mexico, and the samples look good, the pricing works, and you're ready to move forward. Now, Andy, I'd like to ask you, before that first purchase order goes out, what are the steps that tend to make the difference between a relationship that goes smoothly and one that hits serious quality problems down the line?
Before you place that PO, what actually matters and what's really important? First, it's understanding that samples equal potential. They don't equal consistency or what you're going to get. So, one of the very first things that we often discuss as being the most important and critical element is having clear specs. Clear specifications equal less ambiguity, and they can make sure that expectations are aligned at the outset. So, alignment of expectations directly corresponds to having clear specifications. And then as you begin that relationship with the factory, you've moved from quoting to sampling to placing a PO. Before placing that PO, it's important to validate the factory's capabilities, their capacities, and it's not just about that sample and costing. Ensuring that your factory partner has the capability to produce what they say they do, either through an on site visit by yourself, using a third party company like Insight to validate and conduct an on site audit, or if cost and timing is critical, then considering conducting a desktop audit. Does the factory have audit reports that have maybe perhaps been conducted for other clients that they're willing to share with you? Validating that the factory can do what they say can do before you place that PO is critical. So ensuring that there are clear specifications, expectations are aligned, and validating your factory supplier are all steps that should be taken before you pull the trigger on that first PO.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So really it's about having those clear specifications so that you can align your expectations with the factory, and also really taking the steps to validate the supplier's capabilities before you place that purchase order, whether that's through visiting on your own or through a third party audit. But let's say that we've already gone through the first few purchase orders. Those are already out and things are moving along in this relationship. And so a lot of supplier relationships can start out fine, but then over time they start to kind of drift a little bit. So Andy, why is it that quality sometimes starts to decline in the first few months? And are there any early warning signs that importers tend to miss?
Well, one of the things that we often see is that a new relationship with a factory starts strong. You mentioned drift. So, drift is more dangerous than failure because those early POs or shipments, maybe there's something was found that didn't clearly align with the specification that you agreed upon. There was clear expectations, but missed. And so you allowed that to go ahead and ship, and it wasn't addressed with the factory that this is a one off, that they decided, oh, maybe this specification changed and we can now that is okay to do that. Well, then you slowly have drift or quality fade that sometimes we've referred to over the years in different articles and other webinars. And so drift is more dangerous than failure because if it's okay at the onset, the factory uses that as a new benchmark. So minor inconsistencies, increasing variability can often lead to more issues down the road. So communication around where there's exceptions made early on is critical. Understanding and making sure your factory understands this is a one-off, that this isn't the new standard. This isn't changing the specifications, but that this is an exception. Making sure that those early warning signs aren't ignored, and because something didn't fail, it's okay. Just because you have a pass doesn't mean everything is aligned and okay. So communication is critical when there are exceptions being made, and understanding that you don't want the drift to become the new norm.
Yeah, that's really a great point, Andy, about addressing those issues and really making sure to communicate with the factory about them so that they become only a one off thing and really set that expectation. So let's say that the importer has gone beyond those first few orders now. Things are progressing reasonably well. Now, the challenge is to keep it that way. And that doesn't always happen. Andy, why are some companies able to maintain that good quality level for years while others are not? So, what are they doing differently that helps them avoid that slow erosion of quality or quality fade?
Maintaining long term quality isn't just set it and be done. Companies with good quality consistently stay involved even when things are going well. They don't set standards and just relax and let them ride out. They stay involved. Consistency is managed, it's not just assumed. So the moment a company relaxes is usually when quality starts to move, and move not in a good way. It drifts in a direction that is potentially long term detrimental to your brand and your quality standards. So good suppliers stay good because someone's paying attention. Weak companies are companies that end up having quality fade, their product drifts in the direction that they don't want, and then they wonder what happened is they relax standards after early success. They don't stay involved, and they pull back too early when there's resistance. So they assume stability equals good performance, which it doesn't. Good performance requires consistent oversight, clear standards that don't move, and ongoing engagement. You just don't just set and forget. So it's really important to stay involved. Just because you have high pass rates, whether even that's 100%, doesn't mean you have defect free shipment. So you need to stay involved, stay engaged, use the data that's coming to you through inspection reports, through returns, comments from your clients, to make sure that you stay engaged with the quality that is being shipped to you and winds up in your customer's hands.
Yeah, so really, importers need to be consistently involved and not let up just because things seem to be going well. So that absolutely makes sense, Andy. And what it comes down to is that finding the right supplier it's only the beginning, and what you do before that first PO and how you handle those first few months and how you stay engaged and consistent as that relationship matures, that's what is going to decide whether you end up with serious brand damage or not. And so thank you, Andy, for sharing those insights today. And to our viewer, if you are onboarding a new supplier overseas and you want someone on the ground to help you audit the factory or conduct your inspections, be sure to reach out to us on our website. We'd be happy to talk to you. So with that said, be sure to like and subscribe for more on what's shaping quality and compliance today. Take care.